Okay, boom. For the love of God, did they learn fucking nothing about not giving people information about the diner before it comes out from last time? Huge point of criticism from people was, hey, like, we have this new mode and we want to know about it and all this stuff, and they didn't do shit until like an hour before it came out. And they didn't learn anything from it because we still don't know shit. We know what it is probably like based off of, but we don't know if it changed at all, if it didn't change. We don't know anything. They haven't told us anything, publicly or privately. Like, it's so fucking annoying, because covering the new modes is something I like doing, and it usually does pretty well for me, giving people a little guide and breakdown. And now I have to wake up earlier tomorrow and scramble on release to figure all this shit out, and it's just annoying. I mean, I hate the diner, so I don't really care. I hate the diner too, but from a content perspective, people like it. People like to know, like, hey, this is what's going on with it, this is how it's changed or how it's not changed, and these are the things I should play. Like, the Deadpool's Diner videos did very, very well for me. Significantly better than the normal YouTube stuff I do. And I enjoyed making it, even though I don't like the mode. So it's like, I want to provide the content that people are very clearly interested in. But, Second Dinner's not making that easy. They're gonna make me scramble for it. Yeah, the first Deadpool's Diner video got like 10k views, which is really well for me. And then the exploit video got like 20k. That's huge. That's huge. So yeah, that's the main reason I care, is because, like, I haven't been doing YouTube video content because there's nothing to talk about, really, other than some economy stuff, which is going to get its own video at some point. But yeah, the content is clearly something people want and find useful, and it's very annoying when I'm in this program that they essentially branded as like, hey, this program is to help people create content and make it easier for you, and it makes it better for everybody, and that is just not what the program has become anymore. It's like, I truly feel like the only purpose of the content creator thing is to give me 2,000 Broadbucks a month. And I get a special little form where I can bitch, and they can send all the feedback into the trash can. What, you don't want to talk about Thanos Shem? Thanos Shem is probably, although I'm actually probably not going to put Thanos Shem on the list. I'm going to put regular Arshem because it's better, but I'll probably mention it. I need to figure out the decks I'm going to put in that, and I'm probably going to do that today on stream, is go through and figure out decks for people. The problem is, like, none of these decks are going to be budget friendly. I don't think. I'm just going to recommend the decks I think are good and work. I guess Arshem's the budget one, but it's a shame. But it sucks, so I'm probably going to record some of that tonight, but I have to wait for it to come out tomorrow and then see if they changed anything or haven't changed anything. Knowing them, they probably have changed nothing. My guess is maybe they changed the table system a little bit. What happened before was there were like 2 points where the tables, there was a big gap in the tables, and that created, I think, a negative experience for many people. There was like a big jump from like cherry pie to whatever the next one was, and one of the higher ones too. It was just much bigger jumps than the rest of the tables. So I would hope they change that, because it kind of fucks with the progression. But realistically, I don't think they're gonna change anything. I think they made a mode and they're just gonna throw it out again. And I think now that the card behind it isn't as desirable, I think you're gonna see a much smaller turnout for this event. Cassandra Nova was iconic in that she was a character from the hyped up movie. one of the main characters, right? And then she also answered the meta tyrant, which was stupid. At least the meta probably won't be as bad as it was last time. King Eitri, it's like, I don't think he's an awful card or anything, but he's a very niche card. And the best part of that niche, you know where he's going to be best? He's going to be best when he randomly shows up in Arsham and gives them an extra draw. That is where the card is going to be best. Like, I think he's going to be significantly better when he just shows up in Arsham randomly and you get a free draw. Otherwise, you can try him out with Thor, you can try him out with Thanos, but I'm not convinced either of those decks really need that card to be better. I don't even know if it makes them better. I'd wager it might not. Like, I'm looking at Thanos Lockjaw here. Oh, look what I got yesterday, by the way. I'm so close to a fully inked Thanos deck. I would just have to go for Cull. It'll take a little bit, though. So close to greatness. But I wouldn't cut any of these cards for King Eitri. Now, in a Thanos Zoo, sure. I would probably play it in Thanos Zoo. But like Thanos Lockjaw, no thank you. This deck, I think, is good as is. It maybe should have Kyra instead of Mobius right now. People are still playing the Wolf, but I love how this Black Swan looks, though. It looks sick. I tried out a few different borders, but this one looked the best, I think. Thorn Beta Ray deck should benefit from it. Then the card will scale with future shuffle cards. Yeah, I mean, it's a fine card. It's not very exciting, though, and I think as we've seen, I think the bar for a card to be good is much higher with Activate. Like, here are all our Activate cards, right? Very, very good in move. Not so much elsewhere. This is probably the best Activate card in the game, I think. Because it just works in... It works in Bounce, it works in the Dracula dump stuff, it works in Thanos. This is just I think, the best Activate card by a wide margin. Wolf is decent. Not crazy, not terrible. It's just pretty decent. This is garbage. Actually, it's probably insulting to garbage to call it that, which is a shame, because I have a lot of cool variants for her. Yeah, no, very bad. Also bad. Not great. Not great at all. Fell off hard. It was busted in Hela, and then they nerfed it, and now it is garbage. Mediocre, mostly not great, but does have some usage. You might notice a trend here. The Activate cards that are good are cheap, and the ones that are bad are not. What's up, Duplicis? It turns out, when you need to give a card a turn to do something, when it has fucking summoning sickness, it turns out that it gets a lot worse the higher cost it is. So there's a reason that all these cards are worse, is because the window to play them is smaller. Whereas the window to play these cards is much wider. I do wonder how broken Activate would have been if they let it be same turn. I think it would be kind of broken. It would basically just be power crept on reveal. But probably would have made a more interesting keyword. I was excited for the keyword too, and I think it's been largely underwhelming for most people, which is a shame, because I mean, a new keyword should be something that is exciting. Bum, 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 bum. I want to keep playing this, but I should play some more Wolf stuff to test. This has been my favorite deck, though, I think. I like gambling. Turns out I do enjoy gambling. I like throwing the stones in the jaw and watching the slot machine go. Yeah, Black Swan, I mean, I think she's more than just not dumpster, right? I think Black Swan is the best activate card in the game by a significant margin. Aranya is a close second, but holy shit, this card is so good. I was saying earlier in KM's Discord, the difference between 3-5 Swan and 2-3 Swan in this Lockjaw deck is so fucking insane. It's actually insane. And this is the only, I guess Wolf a little bit, but this is the main activate card that isn't stuck in one deck, right? Like, Aranya is a move card. Some people put her in Destroy, but it's a move card. That's what it's made for. This card, it's like, it works in Thanos, it works in Bounce, it works in, like, the big spam deck with She-Hulk. There are a lot of decks that can use this card in an effective manner that aren't overlapping in what they're trying to do. And that's sick. It makes for a more interesting card that you will play more often. It also further validates, I think, the criticism a lot of people had upon... Remember when this card released as a 2-3 and then they made it a 3-5 and they were like, actually, 3-5 is better than 2-3. Not for this card it wasn't, bud. It definitely was not. I don't care what their whack-ass data says. Like, it just wasn't. It was not. Ask anyone who was, like, half competent at the game and tried it. It was better as a 2-3. It was much better as a 2-3. But yeah, the big thing in this deck is having a second way to start popping off with Lockjaw by turn 4 is huge. It's so huge. We only had one way to do it before with Psylocke, and now we have two ways to do it. And that is so very big. The deck needed that desperately. Also, making Lockjaw not once per turn helped so very much. This card would not be playable if they brought it back to once per turn. I like my gambling dog. Also, I get to use a bunch of cards and variants I like. It's just great. This is what I think we're going to try today. Some Wiccan Wolf. This card definitely underperformed in terms of, like, my expectation of it. Like, when it was first revealed, I thought it would be broken. I don't think it's broken anymore. I think it's just okay. Very meta-dependent. But I actually like the card. It's not as powerful as I initially thought when I first saw it. Although I think when we saw it, like, when we first saw this card, wasn't like Hela part of the meta? And everyone was just salivating at a way to clown on Hela. I like the idea of Negasonic with Wolf, though I wonder how it works in practice. So, you can't do them the same turn. Because you need Prio to play Negasonic, and if you have Prio, your Wolf will go off before their cards flip. It's more like you Negasonic them, you know, at some point in the game, and then you bring it back with Wolf. But I think Negasonic's just a good, like, surprise kind of card, you know? Just a decent surprise card that also gets you some Wolf value along the way. I think the thing with Fenris is it's kind of like Anti-Venom, where instead of building a whole deck around it, you just have a small Fenris package. You just run a little, you know, 2 to 3 activators that are also good cards on their own merit. Another idea is this. I really want to play this one. I think Derek had a Black Bolt Stature version with Fenris move, but I think Black Bolt Stature is copium. He did well with it, but Derek's a good player. I'm not big on the Black Bolt Stature train in the current year of Marvel Snap. I think we've just power crept how good that is. Derek could pick up anything and probably win with it. Yeah, exactly. It's skill difference, right? Rather than like the the deck necessarily being good. It could be good. I don't know. I haven't played it. But I'm not a... Every time I saw Black Bolt Stature yesterday, I was usually happy to see it. Because it meant I was facing not the best deck. Like, it's so easy to remember when Black Bolt was the nuts. The game was much simpler when Black Bolt was the nuts. Fenris does provide a lot of power for a 2-drop, and his best friend, 100%, is Moon Knight. This card has made Moon Knight significantly better. Because not only you rip something from them, so, and sometimes it's a really impactful card, so you're denying them a play, and then you're getting the benefit of whatever that play is for 2 energy. And then on top of that, you have a high roll with Proxima that essentially makes you play a 3/10 that is fucking with their resources and giving you more resources. It's such a huge swing. That's what I realized in playing the Surfer deck. You swing the game massively. Because this deck just gets to play all the other good Surfer cards, or most of the other good Surfer cards, and then Moon Knight and Monger make sure you get some, and Glad make sure you get some wolf value. I think it's, yeah, like you just have to play decks that naturally want the Fenris package. Much like with Anti-Venom, you would play Anti-Venom and Luke Cage and Shadow King. So decks that want those 3 cards, they do even better in, because they're a strong package together that gets stronger the more synergy you have. Fenris feels very similar to that. I don't think it's as strong as the Anti-Venom package stuff, but I think it is still quite strong. I also want to try this. Look at all these. I have some sick variants for this deck. I haven't played this deck like at all, and I keep seeing people do well with it. I used my gold border on Moon Girl the other day. It looks sick. Yeah, I remember. I ran into you playing it a bunch. It's a sick deck. I think the only question is if Shadow King is super needed right now or not, but I think it's good. So probably. It's usually just a massive point swing. But yeah, this uses a lot of cards I like. I honestly forgot they made this a 4/5. Genuinely forgot they made this a 4/5. You have Vindicate. I got the Anti-Venom Spotlight, as good as he turned out to be. His Spotlight was pretty good. I feel like this variant got so much better in black and white, though. I wasn't huge on this variant, but I love it in inked. It looks sick. The natural black and white of the character makes it go very well together. This is my favorite card they've released in a long time. My only worry is, like, I feel like eventually Luke Cage is going to have a huge target on his back. This card just keeps getting better and better. Like, he's been good for a long time, and he just keeps getting better. He's a fucking Giga Chad. The only point against him was when they changed Shadow King to not protect from him. If this card's still protected from Shadow King, oh my god, can you imagine? Purple Crackle, that sounds nice. He's so ridiculously strong, but the funny thing is, like, I don't want him nerfed or anything, but even, let's say hypothetically they wanted to nerf this card, they open up like a Pandora's box, because Afflict stuff is really strong even with Luke Cage being popular. So if they made this card worse, Afflict just like takes over. And I don't think people like when it's mostly an Afflict meta usually. Like, it just keeps getting better as they make more Afflict cards. I guess we're gonna try Conquest, because I'm not huge on this hot location. We might do a little bit of ladder if the queues are slow. We'll see what happens. I have to start burning these fucking tickets, though. I keep opening them, and I don't want them. Yeah, he's just so very strong, and he makes strong cards stronger. Like Ajax, US Agent, Man Thing. Like, he just makes good cards even better. And he has upside with locations. Like, feels like one of those cards that is gonna fuck with their design a bit long term. The rare bad copycat hit. Friday. Nice rocket, bud. Time it is. Yeah, Luke is just really, really fucking good right now. Alright, you know the rules. Did I miss a rant? Little mini rant, Woke Boomer. What's up? I had a nice little mini rant at the start talking about it's very vindicating to see so many people who rode the meat clean off this fucking game for so long finally realizing some of the issues that it has now that it's starting to affect them. You fucker. Bum, bum. All right, we're chilling. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Mm, 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 mm. Don't love the space limitation. Mid? Fuck yes. You've been out and sound around. Wait, why is this 5? Oh, we got Agent Venom? Holy shit. Boom, bum, 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 bum. It was very annoying to me in the early days of the game. So many people were very against criticizing anything and wanting to make it better. And now that some of these problems have caught up to them and are impacting them personally, all of a sudden, it's suddenly a real issue. And it's like, fuck you. like these are the same people who for so very long just were like, nah, you're just complaining on the internet to complain. You don't actually like the game. Leave. Go play a game you actually like. So on and so forth. What's up? We got double boomer action. I guess I have to put this here. I need prio is the thing. I feel like they're gonna Falcon. We'll do it live. Boom, boom. The duality of boomers. I should have activated the wolf, maybe. Oh man, that would have been nice. Although, not having prio means I get to shang the shit out of this bishop. And then bring it back. which I think will just win me the game. Boom, bum, 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 bum. More content. I might have missed 1 point of power here, actually. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Pictures taken moments before disaster.
Power must be controlled.
Controlled these nuts. Boom, boom. Got him. Holy shit. That's the most value wolf I have gotten since this card came out. I picked up Hydra. Bob couldn't resist. Good call. Good call. I think if there is any card you will likely not regret purchasing in the short term, it is Hydra motherfucking Bob. Card's the GOAT. It brings it back with the buffs? Hell yeah, it does. What's up, RBV? Bum, 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 bum. What did this take? It took, Toxin. I see why they snapped here. Sure, sure. Oh, now it might ruin their shit. So that's a-okay with me.
Don't you think about it. Get going even.
I wanted to make sure I had him before everyone has him and he gets nerfed. Yeah, I would like some time to play with him. Yeah, exactly. Middle. Fuck. Annoying. That is annoying. Oh, so far away. I mean, that's some nice fucking value, though. Do I snap back? Yep, nice Falcon. Would be a shame if you had like 0 power to pair with it. Damn, we're kind of clowning him a little bit. Yep. Clean, dude. Clean. The GOAT. Making bounce sad since September 2023, baby. The 4U offer for 6K credits and Gladiator $50. I don't think that's a good deal since it's coming to the chest next month, right? Yeah. I would say no. I think the vast majority of the 4U offers are bait, and we'll learn next week, or I don't know, in a few days. They said the day, I should check. We're going to learn what the series drops are soon, and my money is on a bunch of the cards that have been showing up in those 4U offers are dropping. That is my... I don't know if Glad will drop. But 25th, I think that's what they said, yes. Snap Discord. Team answers. There was another thing I wanted to see here. Series drops Monday the 25th. That's when we will know what is dropping. So I think wait and see is the approach for most cards that are showing up in those 4U offers. The only 4U offers I've seen that are genuinely good are like, I've seen some people have gotten these like 99-cent offers, usually for like a Series 3 card. And if it's a good Series 3 card that actually helps you play a deck, that's probably good. But most of them I've seen have been very expensive. Yeah, they price their cards really high in this game because their unique acquisition model, and I've been saying this since the beginning. They reinvented the wheel when it came to gameplay in this game, and they got it really right for the most part. Like, and then they were like, well, we need to reinvent the fucking economy too to support our smaller amount of card releases, and they have failed at that spectacularly. And I'm sure they don't view it that way because the game has made a lot of money. But, I mean, if you look at the stats, there's a reason it's trending downwards. I have a friend who is very confident in Snap being, like, a roughly 5-year lifespan game. I imagine, you know, Second Inner wants it to be more than that, but they'd have to make some real serious changes, because if people are feeling the pain, like, if we're feeling the pain points we're feeling at 2 years, like, imagine at 5, you know? Like, it's just concerning for the future. And speaking of which, there was a question here about this, right? Oh, there's a new answer here I want to read too. New players and late Series 345 content. The team has talked earlier about Series being an onboarding process for new players, get them acclimated to how Snap works. Getting through those early stages always took some time out of everyone, but closer to release, everyone was on the same boat, and even then, there was already a gap between some, depending on spending habits. It wasn't as wide as it is 2 years in. My question is this. Is this time gap something the team intends to preserve moving forward? Right now, a new player can't just simply jump to the game and hit an endgame deck. Talking about series here, not really power. Even if they decide to drop piles of money, because they would still be limited by things like several shop rotations. Is this good? Until one can acquire spotlights, the only taste of current content is the season pass, the thing I assume can be a turnoff for some. Are there any plans to speed up this process or allow players to tackle even a specific portion of those late decks by something like acquiring a specific desired archetype faster, while the remaining cards remain at the current pace? We want to shorten the described gap and ensure that players can immerse themselves faster in the gameplay elements they find enjoyable as soon as those elements are discovered. So, like, on paper, that sounds like a good thing, right? But it doesn't really matter how the answer sounds. It matters how they go about implementing it, right? Because that's a great thing to say, is like, well, yeah, you know, we agree this could be better and there are problems and we want to streamline that experience a little bit more. That sounds good. But, like, you gotta fucking nut up or shut up. Like, I think a lot of people, we've heard a lot of good sounding things. In terms of seeing those things implemented in the game, not so much, you know? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I think a lot of people are, they wanna see it. Like, we're a little, I'm gonna tap the glass on the meme I posted yesterday. Where is it? Where's my meme? Here it is. Tapping the glass here. Card acquisition, we're working on it. 2022, we're working on it. 2023, we're working on it. 2024. Bro, I wish I had a job where I could be like, yeah, we're working on it for 3 fucking years with very little to show for it. Yeah, hunting a deer with a plastic spoon, 100%. We also have no idea how to accomplish this. That's the part that I feel like is implied but goes unsaid. That's the part I feel like I think even they know a bit, and they just can't really say it, but we can read through the lines a little bit. Let's see. Let's read this question, though, because this is new. I haven't seen this. Peter Parker, Daily Bugle. I've seen a couple of the most popular Marvel Snap streamers begin to diversify from Marvel Snap. Some even said they're considering abandoning Snap completely. Does this behavior of these streamers frighten Second Dinner? What do you think could be done to turn things around for the game? I've always been of the mind that a rising tide is great for all boats in this industry. Now is an awesome time to be a CCG player and, by extension, content creator. We've got plenty of improvements and advancements to Snap coming up. As we've talked about, I'm excited as ever for the future of the game. That is a whole lot of words to say a whole lot of nothing. I mean, I get it. You know, if you're working in this industry, I'd probably want to have a... That question is like asking your barber if you need a haircut. I mean, if I was working in this industry, I'd probably want to have a similar viewpoint too, right? You don't want to hope that the future is bad for your company, right? Because that threatens your job security, and nobody wants that. I don't really agree, though, that this rising tide is good for everybody. And I also kind of disagree it's a great time to be a CCG player, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think it's a good time to be a CCG player. I think the best time to be a CCG player was like when Hearthstone came out and shortly after. CCGs could have been so much more. They could have been so much more, but it always gets squandered, and it's so disappointing because I love card games as a genre, and there's so much potential in them, and I feel like so much of that potential has been squandered and unrealized, and it's getting harder and harder to compete in the games industry, especially with live service games, which card games are inherently live service, right? It's harder and harder to compete. I mean, and you need, like, the only way you're competing right now in the card game industry, like, you need an intellectual property that will carry you. I've said this before a long time ago, and I'm sure I'll say it again. Someone could create a Marvel Snap clone tomorrow, and they could make it better. Let's hypothetically, if someone copied Marvel Snap but made it better, let's say they made it more free-to-play friendly. It was way easier to acquire cards. It didn't have the card Arsham in it, and whatever long laundry list of complaints people have, right? You could fix all that shit, make an objectively better game by comparison, and you would make no money. Because you need an IP to carry it, to bring the people to it. That's just how it is. And it's how it's been for most of card games' life, right? Think about the card games that have existed. Hearthstone, Warcraft was a massive intellectual property that carried people into the genre. Magic is kind of an exception, but that's because it was like the first, right? Magic is like the OG. It made the IP that eventually became popular. But it was easier to do that in the fucking 90s than it is today, because there wasn't all this competition of like other stuff people were doing, and it was, you know, physical. There are a lot of reasons why Magic succeeded, and doing that in the modern age is a lot harder. But look at the card games that have existed, even the ones that failed. They were all based off of pretty big intellectual properties. Gwent was The Witcher. What's it? The League of Legends one. I can't remember the name. You know the one I'm talking about. Runeterra. Runeterra had League of Legends. Snap has Marvel. Pokemon has Pokemon, right? Like, Valve Valve tried to carry off of, the Valve name. That didn't work out for them. But props to them for trying. But yeah, it's like you need something to build your base, Like, because unfortunately card games are not enough of a draw on their own to bring people in. I mean, if anyone's been paying attention to the I mean, it's always stupid, but the game of the year discourse, have you seen how many people are like severely butthurt that Balatro is on there? It's crazy. So many people hate anything card game related. And many of them haven't even played the game or don't know anything it's about. And there is so much hate for that game being up there with, like, I don't know, more quote-unquote traditional gamer games, And it's crazy because Balatro it seems so fucking sick, and it was all made by one dude, and it's really well done, and one of the best roguelike. Like, it's like Slay the Spire status. It's like, it's a goated game. But people just, I think a lot of people don't find card games compelling on their own, and that's why card games need this IP in order to bring people in, and that's why Snap makes a lot of these decisions in terms of like trying to pander to a non-card game audience, because they realize that is so much bigger than trying to appeal to the CCG heads, and if you make a good enough game, the CCG heads will show up anyway, because we don't have that many options. And now you're seeing that we're getting a bit more options in Pokemon Pocket, and I mean, it's a little different, but it's still adjacent in the Bazaar. It's like, now that people are having a little bit more in the way of options, they're reaching out to these other things because they just aren't seeing long-term sustainability in Snap, or they're unhappy with some decisions made, or long list of reasons people are doing that. But I wish I could be optimistic about the state of card games, but I find it really hard to be, and that makes me sad as a card game person. And also part of it is like, card games demand a lot of you, right? In terms of like engagement or buying stuff, or like, it's hard to keep up with multiple card games. I bet many of you can relate to this. Like, usually I think most people cap at 2, sometimes 3, but like, you just can't keep up with them all because they all release new content, and like, you just have to prioritize at some point because there's literally not enough time in the day. I have more time than most people probably do for this kind of stuff, and I can't fucking keep up. And so how is a regular person with a regular job supposed to? You just can't. There's not enough time. Am I good to skip Fenris? I got 11 keys and enough tokens. Depends what you like playing. I think Fenris is a pretty solid card, but it is very meta dependent and deck dependent. So I can show what I have been liking with it. I personally really like the card. I think it's good in Wiccan decks like this that run Shang, as well as some other activators here like these two. I think it was very good for me in this Surfer deck, but I don't know if that'll hold up or not. I think this deck was just bullying other Fenris decks, to be honest. But maybe it holds up, who knows. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. I think he was overhyped pre-release, but he's still a solid card. But it's kind of specific, much like how Anti-Venom goes in some specific kind of decks that all like have like higher cost payoffs and want to run Luke Cage and Shadow King. Like, Fenris goes in decks that want to run Killmonger, Shang-Chi, and Gladiator. And Moon Knight. Like, if you like decks that play those cards, Fenris Wolf is probably a card you will enjoy. If you don't really play those kind of decks, I don't think you will miss him terribly. Marvel's one of my favorite IPs, and Snap pushed it through the roof. I'm sure it's true for a lot of people. I've always been neutral-ish on Marvel as an IP. Like, I liked it. Like everyone else, I got more into it during the whole Infinity War saga, and in more recent years I've fallen off a bit, but there are still things I like. The game has certainly made me more invested in characters and actually has gotten me to read some comics, which is cool. So like, I think there's a reason IP is so powerful, right? Because people like identifying with certain characters. Like someone mentioned in chat, Magic is shifting to other IPs because they're finding it massively successful. One of the things we learned recently from Magic is the reason they are going more all in on these cross IP stuff is because they have found it brings more new people to the game than just about anything else they do by a significant margin. And they want to keep growing because we live in a world where infinite growth is a thing people believe in and try to accomplish, even though it is not sustainable. Eventually, like, you're gonna see diminishing returns there, but Magic's a great example of, like, yeah, the power of intellectual property in this era. And I think part of that's because this is a larger societal thing. You know, we're living, I think, in like a peak era of prioritizing entertainment. Like, the internet and technology have enabled us to prioritize entertainment and have easy access to it in a way that most of humanity's history has not. And it's quite fascinating to think about a bit. It's very easy to like kind of take that for granted because it's just how it is and it's the world we live in. So it's like doesn't necessarily feel that apparent, but I think it's really interesting. Like, hell, the whole reason I'm able to do what I do is because people find it entertaining, right? Like, that's why all streamers do what they do. I feel like for a lot of people similar to me, like, throwing on a stream or something is like what my parents did 30 years ago, throwing on the TV, right? Like, I still watch TV and movies and stuff, but not nearly as much as people did in the past. And then imagine before TV, when it was like radio, and before radio, it's like the entertainment industry has changed so much in such a very short span of time. And since gaming is entertainment, like we're seeing the shifts on that. What happened to the DC card game? I think they made some mistakes with that game, which it's a shame because I think the people working on it were passionate. But I just don't. I don't know. I feel like they tried to be a game like Hearthstone at a time where Hearthstone had already started declining, you know? It's kind of what I feel like. Not even Batman and Superman could save it. Yeah. The UI was bad. I don't think the art was bad necessarily. I didn't mind the art personally. But the UI was bad. The UI was not good. I feel bad for the people who are working on it though, because they clearly had passion about the game, and I don't think the gameplay was actually bad necessarily. It's just it didn't bring much new to the genre, and trying to be like a DC Hearthstone clone, just it wasn't a good time to try and be a DC Hearthstone clone. That's I think that's the reality of it. I think if you made that same game and put a Marvel coat of paint on it, it probably still would have failed. Because the desire for that, what it was providing, was already being filled, and it had shrunk over time. They should have just copied Snap. I think what the reality is games take a lot longer to make than they used to, and so I think by the time Snap took off, you know, they already had all this shit planned out, you know? That's my guess, is they couldn't try and pivot to something like Snap because by the time it came out, it was too late for them to redesign the whole game. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Storm. But I thought it wasn't really a bad game or anything. It just didn't. I think it kind of in part proves my point, is like DC, it's not as strong as, you know, Marvel or Pokemon or whatever, but it's still, I mean, you saw how well the Penguin has done, right? Like, people, if there's good DC content, people will flock to it. Like, there's still a lot of people who like it. But the audience for that was very niche. It was a very niche audience. And I think it kind of proves my point that even you need really good gameplay and a really good IP. And even then you might not be that successful, you know? Like, this is something I have seen in content creation too. It's like some people do, I would say, almost everything right. Oh, great, Arsham. Some people do almost everything right, or even everything right, and they just don't get anywhere because you can do everything right, and there's an element of luck to it that is out of your control, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. I think the same is true in game development. I think you can do everything right and still not succeed, and that's very frustrating. Because I'm the type of person who I'm okay with getting something wrong if there's something to be learned about it. This is also an analogy for why I hate playing against Arsham, funnily enough, is because I never feel like I learn anything playing against this dog shit. It's like, if I at least learned something about, you know, a way to have a better experience versus this deck, or a way to, like, play better versus them more consistently, I don't think it would annoy me as much. But there's nothing to fucking learn here. The only thing to learn is that this shit is cringe and should be deleted from the game. They're snapping on fucking sandbar. For God's sake. Like, Jesus Christ. Like Runeterra? Yeah, Runeterra did a lot. I mean, I don't think Runeterra did everything right, but it did do a lot of things right. And it did not work out well for them. Runeterra is a great case study in you can make the game as free-to-play friendly as possible, but it can only that can only carry things so much. And I retreat. Yeah, my hand was bad, even with the good location. I legitimately might just start auto-conceding to Arsham. It's not worth the negative mental experience. I don't even have fun beating it most of the time. It's genuinely awful. Fuck it. I'm going all in, and I'm preemptively muting them. All or nothing, baby. Whether we win or lose, the real victory is not having to play against... Oh, fuck you. Oh, man, dude. Isn't it a beautiful thing? Isn't it a very beautiful thing how I just get so fucked over by some very fun and skillful card generation? Can't play my Wiccan. Yep. Should have played around it though, right? Should have played around it by putting Cassandra Nova and Darkhawk in my deck. That would have solved this problem, right? And turn 5 Goliath. Wow. They truly are a big brain, and they can suck the entirety of my ass. Fun and engaging gameplay. Are we gonna win, actually? That would be funny. It'd be very funny if we won. Don't fuck me, Glad. Cool. Remember, kids, it is always ethical to hit the Arsham player with the Arsham emote. Generate these nuts on your chin. Me to unmute them? I sure do not. I don't need any help. I don't need any help from the Arsham player annoying me. I've got that one covered. Ah! Insta leave? Insta leave? Aw, your stupid bullshit couldn't win you the game. So sad. I swear, if I ever, they can't see your emotes? No, muting people doesn't prevent you from seeing, doesn't prevent them from seeing your emotes, I'm pretty sure. It just prevents you from seeing theirs. To my knowledge, muting is one-sided. Magic in the air. I swear, if someday I overcome the ability for Arsham to not annoy the shit out of me, I will have achieved true inner peace. I will become a Buddhist monk. Whoopsie daisies. Being weird. Yeah, that's what I thought. Looks like 10. Bum, 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 bum. You know what's gonna be really interesting though? So right now, obviously, you have Snap people toying with you know, other things in similar genres. But I'm very curious to see what happens when Marvel Rivals comes out. Because even though it's a very different genre, like, a lot of the people who are here for the Marvel IP, I think will really enjoy that game. And even though it doesn't scratch a similar itch, I still expect a lot of, like, there is a lot of interest in Marvel Rivals as a game. And I've seen this firsthand watching, like, my Jeff lore video triple in size because he was announced as a Marvel Rivals character. Yeah, I can show my other lists after the game. If you want to see some immediately, I have posted some on Blue Sky, which you can find here. What the fuck is this? Odin combo? Surfer combo? I won't name names, but either got banned or threatened with a ban on the YouTube side of a popular Snap streamer. Can't even figure out why. Yeah, usually it's not worth even thinking about most of the time. We got Wiccan, we got Eliath versus a combo deck. We should be ahead. It should be an easy win. Put it on a pedestal. Better moves. Right from the start. Come the life of the party. My exact words were, I can't believe they've nerfed Surtur while he's a season pass card. It's good luck on secondary when I have been getting a bit dubious on the timing of their tunings. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, people do that for all sorts of reasons. I do that on Twitter. Well, I don't do it as much on Twitter. Usually now I just mute people. But there are definitely people who have replied to something I said in like an asshole-ish way, and it's just like, all right, insta block. I get nothing of value out of this. Usually there's not much thought put into it. In my experience. Wait, I should put this on the right because I'll get even more energy. Oh wait, no, I won't get more energy because I didn't spend all my energy the Magneto turn. I mean, I still get Prio and then wreck them with Goliath, so who cares? You need to accept your opponent is smarter and getting rewarded for solving a very complex puzzle. True. Envy is the enemy of happiness. I think that's a very true statement. I think my opponent is about to see the enemy of happiness in this Goliath. Do you think they're ready, chat? I don't think they're ready for this one. I don't think they are quite prepared. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the best thing to do, is just to be like, all right, you know what? Is what it is. This isn't the place for me. I'll find somewhere that is. Better to just not give it any extra thought, because usually nothing comes of it. Cameras off. But this gets me a Wong. Interesting. Women and beer, liquid and cheer. Wanna go? Kicks a clean 100, yeah. One double Krispy Kreme. Who's on the block, baby? Knock, knock, trick or treat. Absolutely. Do you think the Bruce Banner card will make High Evo competitive again, or will it need more? I do not think Bruce Banner will meaningfully make High Evo a better deck, personally. Rude. How dare you? Well, the funny thing is I took their hazmat, so is Bruce not bad? I've seen some math done on it that makes me think it might not be bad. Verdict's still out, or the jury's still out on it, though. I'm not certain of anything. I'm not a believer in it being enough to bring back High Evo, because the problems High Evo has are larger than what Bruce Banner can meaningfully fix. I think you need a larger set of changes to the archetype, which, I mean, they alluded to a while ago. Whether they do it or not is another question. Oh, wait, no, she stole... Yeah, no, it was Cage. It was Cage. Oh, now I get their Cage. Put it right in the bud. Pop 'em out twice in a month. Fighting's fun. Show's over. Get to the deli. So we get Cage back. I mean, I could still lose. Bum, 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 bum. Na 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 na. Easy clap. They come out in the same week, so maybe they buff Haivo then finally. Could be. Definitely could be. The thing with High Evo, here's the thing with High Evo. High Evo has become essentially a worse version of Ajax. The Ajax decks do what High Evo used to like to do, but better. It has been power crept. And for a little bit, you saw people running High Evo to play the Abomination, but even that is faded. This deck is feeling pretty good. Yeah, I know you love it, Woke Boomer, because the lore there is when you were a newer player. High Evo was my recommendation, and it was... When was that? Do you remember when that was? Because, I mean, High Evo wasn't an all-star or anything, but it still felt a bit better than it does now. 3 to 4 months ago. Yeah, that sounds about right. Dude, we are making this combo player so miserable. We just keep stealing their pieces. It's very funny. Turns out Wiccan decks are pretty gas when you get Wiccan on 4 most games. Who knew? Haiva was the nuts when it came out, yeah. And for a long time, it was generally like the best thing to recommend to a newer player. Holy. Remember, chat, energy is just a social construct. It's not real, and we do not have to conform to it. Are you ready to see the saddest Sarah ever to exist? You ready to see the saddest Sarah the world has ever seen? Man, we had their fucking number that game. We were taking their cards, we were denying their cards, we were blowing up their cards. If that person got a pop-up saying, hey, did I have fun with Marvel Snap or not have fun, I think I know which answer they're pressing. Lordy. That was our third thing, huh? So we got a little ticket. Tickets are nice because it's makes it free to post on Twitter. Even though I don't personally put like any stock into Conquest performance speaking to the power of a list, generally speaking, people do. So if that was a rage concede, I would have rage conceded if I were on the other end of that. was rough. Alright, let's do some posting. Still on the... Still... Still experimenting with Fenris, but the deck's been through gold for a quick ticket. Feels very versatile and further. I should just put this here so y'all can see it while I'm typing. All right, post. So I'm gonna copy this. I will cross post this. Fun fact, apparently Blue Sky has a longer character limit than Twitter does. Not much, but a little bit. How do I shorten this? It convinces me I can just cut some words out of it. Yeah, all right, that works. That works. We paste. No, I need to paste the... There's got to be some kind of service that lets me just easily cross post, but if there isn't, or if there is, I'm not aware of it yet. I don't know if I talked about this on stream yesterday, but I heard back from Marvel Snap support, and they were actually able to help me with my issue, which I wasn't expecting. Rare positive support experience. So if I'm going to criticize the game when it does things I don't like, I think it's worth mentioning when they do the opposite, and it was actually a very quick and easy thing to fix, which was nice. Basically, I won this contest for some credits, and I redeemed the credits, and it didn't work. And they were able to help fix that. All right. Post, and now post. Ba-na-ba-na-ba. Bill 50. But yeah, I like this. Oh, someone asked about seeing the other decks before, so I'll show them. For Fenris, here's what we've got. This was my best Fenris deck on day one. Fenris Surfer. I like it a lot. I think it's cool. I also got a fancy split on Sif last night. Worst Crackle, but we take it. Presently happy. But I like this deck quite a bit. If you're into Surfer at all, I think Fenris is a pretty solid addition to this discard version. I liked discard Surfer when Proxima came out, and I think Fenris just made it better, like significantly better. Because now you have another payoff for Moon Knight, and something I've learned about Fenris Wolf, this card is very, very powerful with Moon Knight if you can build your deck in a way where the curve does not subject you to having to deal with Moon Knight's downside. And Surfer is king at that because we run only 3 cards in the whole deck that get discarded, and 2 of them we generally play before Moon Knight is playable. So, like, statistically speaking, the odds of Moon Knight actually hitting something you don't want it to hit in your hand are very, very small. And US Agent's just free because the only card we run that gets hurt by it is Proxima. This card is quite powerful. I think it is quite powerful. Like, it was already strong ripping something from the opponent's hand, but now the fact that you can deny them a resource of usually a pretty good card they want to play, and then get the benefit of that card at 2 mana, it's huge. It's huge. Who could I possibly sub for Glad? So obviously Glad is kind of important because he rounds out our package here of 3 cards that enable Fenris Wolf. But you could probably still play it without Glad. Who would I put in Glad's spot? Maybe Shaw's fine. Nocturne's probably fine. Juggernaut is probably fine. You could try Gambit if you want to gamble a little bit. If you feel a little more gambly. This would give you a... oh, no, this doesn't... Yeah, no, it destroys a thing. So this Gambit could fill the role of giving you another activator for Wolf. Yeah, no problem. Stack Whips. I've been playing it since I saw you running it last night. Nice. I'm glad it's been working for people. What's up, Lee? How was the stream? I hope it was good. So that's one deck. I posted that one. This is another one I haven't played yet, but I know Blue was doing pretty well with it. Just classic Sarah control. Is Fenris Surfer better than normal Surfer? I probably can't answer that with certainty because I haven't played much normal Surfer. I played Agent Venom Surfer a bit during that season, and it was pretty good. But I haven't actually played against regular Surfer much this season, so I couldn't 100% tell you. But I think it's on a very similar level, if it isn't better. Like, I didn't feel like I was playing a worse Surfer deck. You know, sometimes you try and, like, insert a package into Surfer, and it's like, it just feels like you're doing a worse thing. I did not feel that with this deck. I still felt I was doing the powerful thing Surfer does. It just had, like, a few different axes of attack, basically. If that makes sense. It just felt smooth. It just felt surprisingly smooth. I wouldn't be surprised if Hope gets replaced by that new 3/5 that new Luna Snow. Because Luna Snow, I mean, Hope might just be better, but Luna Snow has the benefit of being playable on turn 4, and Hope does not. If you don't play Hope on 3, you usually do not play Hope Summers. Hope and Surfer's underappreciated. Yes, mainly because if you don't have it on 3, it's like hard to play, right? In regular Surfer, sometimes you'll play it a little later because then it can get you 7 energy on turn 6 and you can Absorbing Man. But we're obviously not running Abs Man. I thought I would miss Abs Man more than I did. I really didn't miss it. It's kind of nice that the deck doesn't turbo rely on Big Brood all the time. It makes you a bit less weak to Shadow King, too. Obviously, Surfer always doesn't love Shadow King, but not running, like, just not running things that are extra weak to it is helpful. But yeah, it's I've really liked this list. I feel like I cooked with this one. And I imagine it's probably going to go under the radar. I might do a video on Fenris decks for the end of the week. I've been slacking on video content. I should get back to doing that, but I've been putting that energy towards streaming content. Could I run discard without Scorn competitively? I want to say probably. I feel like the core discard, the big card to have in discard that's higher series is this card. If you have Proxima, I think if you have Proxima and MODOK, I generally think you can play discard. I think this is the big one a lot of people don't have that significantly weakens the deck. I think Scorn is a decent card that, in my humble opinion, didn't super meaningfully move the needle on discard. I know there are some very dedicated discard players who think otherwise, and I will concede that they probably have more experience with that deck than me. So I'm not going to claim to be an expert on it, but in my experience, Scorn is decent, but doesn't... It's nowhere near as archetype defining as like Proxima has been. Proxima has been so very good. Yeah, there was some discard yesterday, but I think the reason people were playing it yesterday was because discard matched up very well into all the fucking Moon Knight people were playing. So I think it was like a meta call the other day. Good cloning VATS deck. I'll be honest, I usually don't think about the hot locations. But I think any deck with Hydra Bob is probably not bad into it. What else? Discard, traditionally, I think, is not bad for cloning VATS. But I don't usually think about the hot locations too much, especially ones that aren't new. Destroy, yeah, Destroy's not bad. You want to have cheaper cards that you get high value off of getting copies of. That's the mantra of the location. What else was there? Were there any other... Oh, I haven't played this yet, but having seen Derek do well with like a Black Bolt stature version of like move plus Fenris, I think this is probably not bad either. I think I might try it out now. Mockingbird type deck? Yeah, exactly. Mockingbird is traditionally good with it. I'd say Thanos, but the problem with Thanos is like you cycle so much you don't actually want to fill your hand. Usually, because like you're already keeping your hand big with the stones. This deck impressed me though. It's nothing new, right? Like this is just some slight tweaks to the Wiccan deck, but I've never been huge on Quicksilver, but I think in this version it makes sense. Because it means you don't have to dedicate spots to 1-drops, and it feels like it pretty massively helps with your consistency of getting Wiccan. Beat Arsham Thanos, nice. I feel like it's always so hard to tell, though, how things are paired against Arsham, because one... I'm not even trying to say this to be mean. I think it's just generally true from what I've seen. More players than not play Arsham really fucking badly. And I think that's part of why the card is popular, because it helps separate the skill difference in the game. Because you have such an information advantage with Arsham and such a wide output of things you can do that it's very helpful versus people who normally, like people like me who are like tuned in, right? Like I keep up with the game. I play a lot of the game. I understand what is popular and how decks work and why people play X card, right? A lot of people aren't that tuned in. And so that makes it harder to play the game because you don't really know your opponent's output realistically. And so Arsham lets people lets people have that unknown output, even against people who normally would have a information advantage. And that's one of the reasons it pisses off like every streamer. Because we're like I think that's one of the fun things about card games is how you are rewarded for engaging with it more and learning about it, and it makes you a better player, it makes you a better deck builder. It's a fun curve of learning that makes you better at the game, and it's very satisfying. That's why Arsham pisses me off, because I never learn fucking anything, because the games do not play out similarly usually, aside from the fact that they're all running a million fucking tech cards. And that's why, God, it annoys me so much whenever I go on my patented Arsham rants, when people are just like, just play a fucking tech card, bro, if you hate it so much. I feel like that's a fundamental misunderstanding of why I hate it. I don't hate it because I can't beat it. It's not a power level. It's not purely power level hatred. There's power level amplifies the hatred, but it's not the root cause of the disease. The hatred of it is it makes me not have a fun experience playing the game, whether I'm winning or losing most of the time. I feel like it robs me of playing a fun game of Marvel Snap regardless of the outcome of the game. Like, it's not what I signed up for, which is why I've gotten into the habit of just paying them 1 cube to fuck off, because it genuinely isn't worth it. Did I see Glenn's recent team answer? How recent? We were looking at some of these. Yeah, we saw these. We went over these, like, I don't know, 30 minutes ago? Hour ago? Something like that. This was a good answer that, I mean, it only really matters if they actually deliver, and everyone's kind of on the I'll believe it when I see it train. And this was, I don't agree with the premise. Now's an awesome time to be a CCG player for a lot of reasons. And I think especially this part, and by extension a content creator, I think this shows a fundamental misunderstanding of what it's like being a content creator, to be honest. And I mean, I don't really expect him to know what that's like, because that's not his job and that's not something he does. I don't expect most people to know the ins and outs of that, so I'm not going to fault him particularly harder than anybody else on that point. But I strongly disagree with this. I think it's a good thing there's competition, because competition usually leads for better things for the consumers. I 100% think that. But a lot of the things we talked about were, I think it's hard for card games to get a foothold in the market without having a really powerful IP, and there are only so many of those powerful IPs, and the game has to get both the gameplay and the IP right. Otherwise, it's usually still not good enough. And if you get both those things right, you're still not guaranteed to succeed. Like, even though a lot of people don't love Pocket's gameplay, Pocket got the collecting right. So even the people who aren't into the gameplay are still engaging with it because they like collecting. And I think Pocket's gameplay will get better over time. I think comparing it to Snap's gameplay is futile, because they're just not trying to be the same game at all. The only thing they're trying to do that's the same is they're trying to be faster paced card games that are designed from the ground up for mobile, and I think both games succeed at doing that. But they don't succeed at providing the same kind of gameplay people enjoy. They're very different, and I think that's a good thing. What's up, Lamp? So yeah, I think it is a very bad time to be a card game content creator, with the exception of, I mean, I think if you're at the very top, you're still doing all right, but you probably still, I know for a fact there are some people at the top who, they don't feel particularly comfortable in their position, you know? Like, and if that's how people at the top are feeling, that paints a scary picture for those of us who are not close to there. So is Snap cooked? That's one way of putting it. That's one way of putting it. It's a shame, though, because I do genuinely enjoy the game. I think there are a lot of things it does correctly, but it's so striking to me that, like, and this is true for, like, just about every content creator that covers this game, our experience is not reflected in the experience I think most of the people that watch us have. And that creates a lot of problems. That creates a whole lot of problems for the player base and for content creators. And it also creates an issue of, like, when someone's asking me if they should buy a card or not, like, it's hard for me to look at it from the same position they're looking at it from. I try and adapt my advice to account for that, but you can only do so much to accurately represent that. I also think if I was in the position of most people where I was severely limited on the acquiring the cards, I probably would have quit the game a long time ago. I have quite a stockpile of resources, even though I'm spending less money on the game. And I've tried to coast off of that and been largely successful in doing so. But eventually it's going to run out. And that will create a crossroads. Because I know if I couldn't interact or engage with most of the cards I wanted to try out, like, I know because sometimes I skip a card. It's rare, but I do. And when I do, I'm so fucking bored that week most of the time. Unless I already have a deck I really like playing, but... Sweet ammonia, what have you done? I'm trying to decide if I want to play another game with this or if I want to try this one. What time is it? It's midnight? We'll probably go for like a 3-hour stream today. And then I'm not doing Pokemon today because I need to wake up earlier tomorrow. I need to wake up earlier tomorrow for the diner ship. I'm going to play a different deck because I feel like I have a general good understanding of how this deck works. I don't feel like I need to learn a lot more from it. Discord. Someone added me as a friend on Discord. One mutual server. Seems like spam. Seems like spam to me. Yeah, we're gonna try the what do I want here? TikTok stream when? It's actually an interesting topic. Because as someone who is pretty tuned into a lot of the social media bullshit, because it's kind of, you know, directly related to what I do, TikTok is one area that kind of blindsides me. I don't really understand it. Part of me doesn't really want to understand it, but it's not a smart outlook to have for doing what I do. I understand it a little bit because there's overlap with like what YouTube Shorts are doing, because they're essentially trying to copy the formula, except TikTok gets away with more all the copyrighted music stuff that YouTube doesn't. It's actually something I'm probably going to talk with my sister about, because that stuff is a bit related to her job, and I want to learn more about it. Do I buy boosters? I don't think I'm ever splitting Jane again. I don't want to buy a gold ticket. I guess I'll just save. So I'll just save. Let's try out this deck. TikTok is a Chinese psyop to disable Western culture. Destabilize Western culture. I think we're doing a pretty good job of destabilizing our own culture, to be honest. Did you hear they got rid of the ban? The ban was coming up, but not getting banned. I don't subject myself to it because I don't need more brain rot in my life. I already have more brain rot than I want. Seeing Dakin there makes me wish he was better. Would a 0 energy shard be too good? In modern Snap? Probably not. My guess would be it would not be too good to do. Dakin just got power creeped. Dakin is an example of like 3-8 used to be so above rate for 3-drops. And so it was worth jumping through a hoop for. But now it's not. No, it's not. Hot take. I feel/think that video about Snap dying was a play/psyop vid. It was a plant psyop vid, yeah. Well, the funny thing is, here's something that I'm sure many of you probably understand, but I know not everyone does. The thing is, in online content creation, you have to give the people what they want, even when what they want is sometimes dumb. if you try and like, you just can't get around it. You just can't get around it. And the reality is that gamers love the whole X game is dying. People eat that shit up. Because either they agree with you or they disagree with you, but either way, they feel very passionately about it. And so that's why I think most of us know that, like, the game would continue to survive and make money if all of the content creators left tomorrow. But it doesn't make sense to frame it that way. Because it's not provocative. It doesn't get the people going, you know? Kind of boat. An email from work to not have it on our personal phones for security purposes. I've heard of that before, actually. Not the first time I've heard that. I mean, I have no doubt they do, like, probably steal a lot of information through that app. Like, steal a lot of, like, personal data and stuff. But it's not my, I don't know too much more about it than anyone else. My favorite song's lyrics is, if there is one thing in this world that you can depend on, it's that you can bet your last dollar on the ignorance of the American people. I mean, I think that's true for people in general, to be honest. But it doesn't help when we have, like, you know, a 21% illiteracy rate. That certainly isn't helping. Boom, boom, boom. The other thing that's challenging in terms of the whole give people what they want thing, and this is true for a variety of things, like pretty much I think most things in life, but I've especially noticed it in content creation. A lot of people don't know what they want. A lot of people will tell you, I want X, and then you do X, and the results are terrible. And it's not because those people are being, like, deceitful or trying to mislead you, or it's not like a negative, they're not trying to negatively dissuade you or anything. I think it's just a reality of, like, it's a normal thing for a lot of people just not to really know what they want. We're indecisive creatures. Like, there are a lot of times I don't know what I want. I'm gonna hope I do not get shanged. This looks like a deck that runs Mr. Chi. Why are we hearing about this now? Why not sooner? It makes me think the timing was predetermined. I don't think it goes that deep. You want the short reason for why it's happening now? The longer a game has been out, the more easily people get bored with it. And now it is coinciding with the fact that before people didn't have too much in the way of alternatives, and now people do. And I'm not saying these alternatives work for everybody. They don't. Like, not everyone's gonna love the Bazaar Pokemon Pocket and see it as an alternative, but a bunch of people are. I think that is what is that, and the result of that in Snap numbers doing worse. Because it's not just the streamers who are trying out other things, it's also the player base. It's just all happening at once because, I mean, this is the time those games released. And, we're 2 years out from Snap's release, and it doesn't hit like it used to. I think most people would agree with that. Even if you like a lot of the things they do, I think if you ask someone, like, do you still have the same amount of fun or play as much as you used to, a lot of people are going to say no. Even people who are positive on the game. I'm just going to play this for Prio. Zeddy's the most ideal streamer. Oh man, dude. I don't know how he does it. I feel like I would have blood pressure issues. Not sure if they don't or do care about the player sentiment. I think the unfortunate reality is there are good people who work at the company. But I think most of the good people who work at the company who might agree with some of the things players are saying here have absolutely zero position of power to influence something changing, That's kind of my read. Managing my Twitter feed is a nightmare. It's all Pokemon Snap and the NFT Hearthstone alternative. Do I unfollow all those accounts or wait and hope they switch back to something more interesting? I don't know, man. Managing Twitter in general right now is a fucking nightmare. There's a reason many people, myself included, have been messing with potential alternatives. Because it's been on the decline. That's rude. Made a new account, and that account's feed is perfect. Interesting. This looks like a leave. Truthfully, though, if I didn't do content creation, I think I would just try and, remove that from my life entirely. Aside from maybe, a few minutes here or there just to see something funny. That's really the only value I get out of it. That's the one thing Blue Sky hasn't figured out from Twitter yet. You need funnier posts. The environment there is very nice and friendly, but you need funnier fucking people, man. You need funnier people. It'll get there, I'm sure, but I hope NFT card games take over. It has been very funny to me watching all that shit transpire in Hearthstone, to be honest. Because all the Hearthstone people who were there for Magneto, please. Well, actually, Kate would have been better, but Magneto could actually be not good. But whatever. Because they're going to get a free Magneto. Which is not ideal. Although, we could get Shang, so I'm chilling. We'll stay. It's silver. Who gives a fuck? We're not going to try that hard. Wait, what are the... What's this? Oh, Viper. Rude. Zeltennis. Thanks for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Oh, okay. What I do. Shang off the top, baby. Please and thank you.
All systems go.
I don't think this is enough to win, but I don't particularly feel like doing the math. I play Snap in Hearthstone, and Snap has taught me how good I get in Hearthstone. Yeah, Hearthstone's really not that bad to keep up with in terms of cards. That's one thing I've always been surprised to see people say, is like how, like, oh, Hearthstone traditional card games are so expensive, and it's like, compared to Snap, not really, in my opinion. Oh, damn, imagine if Gambit hit the hood there. That would have been crazy. Snap was cheaper for me? Interesting. I mean, like how I tell all the Twitch streamers that play Snap that they're no better than the top 30k ranked player in Snap and no worse than the top 1k ranked player in Snap. I mean, I think there is a difference in skill level at certain points, but I don't think it matters that much. Because, like, it's not like there's a competitive scene or anything, you know? I'm absurdly rich in Hearthstone. I've never spent a dime, yeah. Well, it's only 10 to 15 bucks a month if you're okay with skipping a good portion of cards, right? That's the thing, and that's what I think annoys people. And when I play a card game, I want to play with all the cards. There are a lot of people who don't feel that, which is fine, but I am one of those people. Especially when the format of releasing is, well, if you don't get the new card, there's nothing new to do that week, unless maybe there's a particularly impactful balance change or something. I was relaying that comment to what you said about Blue Sky needing to be funnier. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. I need to delete this Monopoly ad thing. I forgot I still had that. Oh, fuck off. Their deck's kind of cool, though. It's like the old Darkhawk deck, but it doesn't run Darkhawk. What's up, no thank you? How's it going? Bird Hawk. God, imagine. Birding Hawk would be pretty wild. Yeah, music, yeah, music. But I think there are a bunch of people who get their money's worth out of the season pass and are totally content with it. And if that's you, more power to you. I think I'd just get too bored too quickly. No, Proxima, please. Thank you. I don't like you hitting my Magneto. It's not very nice. It's not very kawaii of you, sir or madam. What has died? The biggest card is Fenris Wolf. I'm probably supposed to hold this. And just pass, and then Gambit Copycat. Like that. I'm indifferent. Hearthstone at its peak was offering more value for your buck. I think nowadays Hearthstone gives you more than it ever did, too, for free. I'm pretty sure. Oh, suck me, Viper, you motherfucker. Fucking rude ass. Bow, bow, wow, wow. It's alright. Gambit is gonna make a name for himself or die trying. Next round. Soon. I like their deck though. I like the deck. Seems decently built. I imagine the Agatha deck probably likes Fenris Wolf too. Although probably not the best thing to be playing if other people are playing Fenris Wolf. Stature, please. Oh, that's bad. Go mid. Okay. What's the last card? It's a demon. Now we lose. Oh, I queued up with the wrong deck, by the way. I didn't want to play this deck again, actually. I wanted to try the other deck. Yeah, buddy. We get it. Card. Fenris Wolf. We wanted to try out this one. Yeah, I do think spending money has pretty significant diminishing returns in this game. Yeah, sure, fuck it. Place where love goes. Based Thanos enjoyer. Without Arsham cringe. You love to see it. See. I need to open a pack and pocket before reset happens. To survive. We just wanna dance. Well, this is not the ideal situation to be in for us, but... Oh, it moves both of them? Oh, fuck. Well, actually, that might be okay. Maybe? A place where love goes. Alright, so here's the sick play we're gonna do, chap. We're gonna... Next turn, we're gonna activate Aranya, move 2099 mid, kill a big thing, bring it back with the wolf. It's so easy. It's so easy, dude. It's so easy. We just always hit big man Thanos. And they never have the stone that protects him. Scar might have just killed us regardless. But kill Thanos. No, we're still dead regardless. It only gives us 10 and we would need 11. Bomber. It would have been so cool. I mean, we were kind of cooked as soon as they got, you know, extra 3 energy, but there was a chance for something very cool to happen. I need to open this Pokemon pack before I forget. Get my dailies done. Anything good in the pack? The answer is no. Well, I guess Gianni's not bad, but I already have a bunch. Nothing of value. My packs have been kind of ass recently. Truly unfortunate. Wait, did the daily rollover already happen? Is it earlier now? I thought it was 1 a.m.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Fudge with the raid. What's up, Fudge? How's the stream? Thanks for the raid. Have you been Wolf Gaming too? If you guys don't know Fudge, you should check him out. He's a good player. He usually streams at a similar time that I do. We're just fucking around with Fenris. We're trying this weird move version with Mr. 2099. Who doesn't love some 2099 action? Whenever I see this person's name, I always think of Tyranitar. Got wrecked by Cosmo and Eliath at the end. Interesting. Yeah, I have not played... I've not been playing ladder today because of... I don't really fuck with the hot location. Destroyer and Viper with Fenris. I've seen people do that. Yeah, it is very funny. It is very funny. I love it. I'd rather Moon Knight next turn. And then I can 2-card combo. Ooh, see ya, Eliath. R.I.P. Bozo. Be kind of sick if we could get Wolf next turn. Looks like they're playing the Wiccan Searcher deck. which I think is fine. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Do, do. That's so fucking annoying. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, ba-na-na-na-na. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Bum, bum, bum. Limbo. How low can we go? I'm not sure how this matchup pans out for us. I imagine it's a bit better for them, mainly because they're running the Shadow King version, and Shadow King is notoriously strong against these kinds of decks. Goliath probably also doesn't help. Proxima, on the other hand, that's something I can get behind. They might not be playing Wolf, actually. Alright, so we go this. This is actually annoying, isn't it? I guess I put it here, and then I go this, activate. The problem is, like, Shadow King is gonna clap my cheeks. Oh, wait, no, I would have to put it here. Move here, bounce, move here. Alright, sure. Bro, that's cheating. Although at least now it makes Shadow King bad for them. Any day. That's the I have Shadow King snap, right? I mean, I'm gonna go with the line to try and beat Shadow King. That's my plan. I don't think it's gonna work, but we'll try it. If it's just a lie, they're just dead, but yeah. Oh well. Oh well. Basically, we had two options there. We could have I'm just gonna concede this matchup because I don't feel like playing it out. Well, so far this deck is not doing very well, which is unfortunate. Although I think we've hit the Wiccan piles like twice, and I think particularly with Shadow King, it's not a good matchup for this shit. So we'll see how it does, but so far I like my Surfer deck better. Bum, 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 bum. May I just hold and then... Oh no, I can't dagger it in. Alright, so then I just do this. Had your time. Are we ready to 2099 the shit out of this Human Torch? I know I am. Oh, we know they have Eliath. This sucks. This is not good. Cosmo actually kind of fucks us, huh? Sad. Play this. Play these for stats. Wait. This. Yeah, maybe I should have played Torch on the left, but I guess it would have pumped the dagger. So they're ahead more, so we 2099. Oh man, it would be so much funnier to Fenris Wolf, but I can't. Oh fuck. Oh wait, oh they're doing the same shit? Oh no, they got my 2099. Well, that makes me sad. Yeah, it's just Eliath. Yeah. How did I end up here? I often ask myself that question. Yeah, probably dog shit into regular move too, huh? It's not looking good for this deck. It's not looking good. Poor 2099. I have an idea, drop Fenris. No. No, I refuse. We'll delete the deck before I drop Fenris. Mm, 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 mm. So far, we have learned that this is shit into Shadow King and shit into Alioth move. Neither of those things are surprising to me. Oh, fuck off, dude. Where is all this shit coming from? Bum 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 bum. He do big numbers and people realize Fenris isn't worth teching against, yeah. I kind of hate the what the new move deck has become, to be honest. I hate that it puts you in so many awkward positions with Eliath and Cosmo. Like it's to run them so freely. Not my kind of deck. Still not as bad as Arsham though, so it's got that going for it. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Wiccan deck did good though. Just went through 5 Arsham Conquest games. You need a shower. It sounds like you need an antidepressant. That's what I would need. I would need a fucking vacation. Like, holy shit. Yeah, a shower wouldn't cut it for me. I got the wins and I got a lot of emotes, yeah. Like I was saying earlier, and I know you probably feel similarly, it's not even about power level with Arsham. It's like, I just didn't sign up for this bullshit, you know? Even when I win, I'm like, I'd rather have just not played that game. I think many of the other people who dislike it feel very similar. I'm just gonna play the Proxima. Oh, I don't think we're gonna be staying in this match either, because we know how this goes, dude. We know how this game's gonna go already. Yeah. Surely we draw. I don't even know. Nothing in this deck saves us, really, right? I guess if we get like Doctor Strange, maybe. Well, they're playing the bounce version. That's not something you see a ton anymore. I like to play cards from my deck against other cards from decks with an equal starting point. Yeah. That's a hot take in 2024, right? Yes, sir. Ah. This is very annoying. Alright, I'm just gonna kill the dagger. They're gonna move the dagger mid, and I'm gonna kill it. Well, Chad, I think we're cooked. I think we're a little bit cooked. A wee bit cooked. Yeah, I'm not playing this out, man. Fuck that. They're playing the better... It's not the other move deck I thought it was, but it's not something I'm interested in playing against with this deck. Unfortunately, this one looks like it's going the way of the garbage can. Which is a shame, because I was looking forward to trying something a little different with 2099, but it's just worse than all the other move decks. Which isn't necessarily just surprising, but it is disappointing. Because it looked cool. It did look cool. Not gonna delete it right away, but it's not it. It is not it. The other Fenris decks felt significantly better to play. What about that one guy played against us? How does Wolf interact with Ghost Rider? So, Wolf, if something is taken from the pool, it can't be taken again. So if you bring something back with Wolf, their Ghost Rider can't bring it back, or their Hela can't bring it back. Also, if someone discards an Apocalypse or destroys a Deadpool, that is not in the pool, because those cards don't actually go to the destroy pool or discard pool, because they regenerate. So you could steal the Big Idiot from Hela, which is funny. That would require people playing Hela, though, and that's not... it's not a thing, really. We ran into someone playing, it was like the Darkhawk deck, but without Darkhawk. Which I imagine isn't that great, but... Is there anything else I want to try? I should probably, I think what we're gonna do is I think we're going to get some decks together here for the video I'm gonna do for Deadpool's Diner. I think that's what we're gonna do. Let's see. Login. Sign in with Google. Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. Alright. We have SnapFan here. Decks. I believe they fixed the issue with being able to import decks, which will make my life significantly easier. Alright, so I'm just going to copy the code of some of these decks that I know are good. Import deck code. Please work. Sick, it worked. That actually saves me a lot of time. Moon Monkey. Alright, there's a deck. I'm gonna move these to the other side of my screen. Alright, that's one deck. Safety, while you're here, what do you think is good right now? I feel like I have a good list of decks, but I'm curious if there's anything I'm not thinking of. Import deck code. Arsham, discard. Wait, this is missing a card. What card is it missing? Black Swan, Mobius, Hope. It's missing Cull. Thanos, Lockjaw. Discard, move, Sarah control. It sounds about right. Putting this on there too. Import deck code. Anti-Ultron, boom. Oh, the Surtur deck for sure. It's missing another card. What's it missing? Armor, Cosmo Jug, Surtur. Tomb of Crossbones. It's missing Cull. For some reason, SnapFan doesn't like Cull Obsidian. That's okay. It imported most of it, so it's good enough for me. Trying to forget Surtur exists, yeah. Fortunately, I haven't seen a whole lot of it. I'm sure it'll tick back up, though. The Scream deck is still good. I don't understand why people started playing the Daredevil version of this deck. I've yet to run into that and feel like it does stronger things than this version. I don't fully understand that one. Bounce is still pretty good. There are a lot of decks that are playable right now. Bounce. Yeah, I don't know why they put Daredevil in it. They put like Daredevil Negasonic, which is like cute. Don't get me wrong, but what card did it forget this time? It forgot U.S. Agent. Yeah. Control Sarah. I swear, this is who they build this fucking deck for. Is people who just don't want to ever have to think about building a deck. They can press that autocomplete button and it just gives them a powerhouse of a deck. But it's good, so I'm putting it in. I'll mention the Thanos one, but I'm pretty sure it's worse. Still playable though if you want to do that, but definitely seems worse. Interesting. It thinks the bounce one is better. The bounce doesn't run fucking Heimdall. Alright, so it's just confused. Alright. That's okay. We just get rid of these two cards and put in Cosmo Goliath. That's correct, right? Well, shout out to SnapFan for fixing the import deck code, because that saves me a lot of time in doing this. It's a very good feature. Move. Boom. And we'll throw in a discard deck. Corvus. Corvus over Sif? No. No, no, no. Otherwise this looks right? Is there anything I'm forgetting? Doesn't look like it. Why is this deck good? I mean, I don't think it's particularly amazing or anything, but it's very playable. Discard just does decent points, and honestly, I think Discard does well because people consistently underrate it. People are like, ah, Discard can't do that much, and then, I mean, it's one of those decks that should never get a lot of cubes off of you because, you know, when it's doing well, it's very obvious it's doing well, but that's counteracted by the fact that so many people do not respect it. Because discard has been bad for such a long time in the game's life that I think a lot of people just do not respect it. And they get punished for it. I feel like there's another card in here I'm forgetting, but this version looks fine enough to where I think I'm okay putting it in as my discard thing. I already have enough decks, I think, but putting discard and destroy in here, I don't know if I'm going to put in destroy or not, but this is just to give people something that is like budget. Could turn it into a Fenris deck? Yeah, we could. We definitely could. I've seen people doing that. I couldn't tell you if it's any good or not. Oh, Moon Knight. Moon Knight's the card that I'm forgetting here. Is Moon Knight better than Gambit? I'm going to say it is. Moon. Yeah, you would need them both if we're going to do that. I'm not going to turn it into a Fenris deck, though, because kind of the point of me putting this in here is to give people options for a deck that doesn't necessarily rely on a lot of new cards. That is kind of the purpose of this. Like, yeah, if you don't have Scorn, you can replace it or whatever. But generally, I think if you like discard at all, you probably have these cards. This is just for like the video, and I'll put it in destroy as the other nod to. Surely Agony is better than a Hulkbuster, right? Right. I would think so. Fits the curve better, usually. But yeah, discard and destroy are just here for budget decks, basically. Alright, so I have a bunch of decks. I have a lot of decks here. Moon Monkey, Thanos Lockjaw, Agent Venom Ultron. I should probably put a Ajax deck in here too. I don't want to have a million decks, but this gives people a lot of options. What does the game think the best Ajax deck is right now? I haven't been keeping up with it. Sarah Ajax. This deck needs to drop Sarah for Anti-Venom. Drop White Widow for, I don't know, another 2-drop? It's a good 2-drop. Kate. Valentina. Daredevil. I don't know. It's probably just Kate. Most of these cards don't do anything if they get pulled by Malekith. Anyway. Yeah, Kate just gives us some more options. Also, this goes... Actually, it should just be... And then this should be Bob. The Bug God just gave me a sign. I pinned Ancient Venom before rotation, and now it's gone. That's weird. Yeah, Ancient Venom's still a fairly strong card, but It's definitely definitely doesn't seem to be the meta-defining force it was, right? It's still an incredibly overstated 2-drop, but the nerf definitely has made it a little more awkward. Its deck still finds success, but yeah, this looks good. Builder. Port code. Invalid deck code? No. Well, it worked for most of them, so if I have to do one deck manually, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it doesn't work. Bummer. Bob. I'll never forget how much shit I talked about Ajax, only for him to be such a good card. Sometimes you get it wrong, and that is okay. God help us if they released original Ajax. Imagine if he was a 4-drop. It'd be crazy. How about Cersei over Ajax? How have you been liking that? I have a complicated relationship with Cersei. She doesn't do very nice things for me a lot of the time. Listening to the Twitter AI for which cards to skip has driven me so wrong. You have to listen to Safety's AI. If you're in Safety's Discord, which I will link, he has built a Snap AI from the ground up, and it has been very entertaining to watch play out. I will link the Discord for anyone who wants it. Cersei made a toxin. I lost the game. Never played her again. Yeah, that sounds about right for my Cersei experiences. When Nocturne went in every deck, Nocturne screwed you over sometimes too, but it also won you the game sometimes, so it was easier to look the other way. Whereas Cersei, I feel like I can never look the other way. What's up, Blue? I could never look the other way with Cersei. She always makes me sad. Yeah, I think this is generally correct with Kate being kind of a flex spot, but it does help fill your curve a bit. Ajax. Safety's AI will evolve into Skynet. Don't feed the monster, yeah. Twitch added a co-working category. What the fuck is this? Hello? Co-working and studying. I'm so confused. It sounds like just chatting with extra steps, and nobody's gonna watch this, which feels true when the highest person in there is 39 viewers. That's wild. Speaking of viewers, I appreciate everyone who's been turning out to the streams recently. If you haven't noticed, I've been doing more streaming than video making. That's just been something I've been on the grind of. I've been enjoying it. I still want to do video stuff, but it's been kind of a quiet time in Snap in terms of video content. Might eventually get back to doing some card review and recommendation stuff, but for the time being... I mean, I'm going to do a video tomorrow for the diner, but... we have to wait until 2 p.m., like 13 hours from now, to see if they actually changed anything, or if it's just a rerun. I hit 90, but it's starting to feel like work. Yeah, it's not good. Oh, the good news is you got the better reward, right? Also, fuck the hot location. True. I haven't played ladder during it, and I'm not going to. Interview with Zeddy, yeah. Marvel Snap's #1 fan. Alright, so we have a lot of decks. I have a lot of fucking decks here. We got Moon Monkey, Thanos Jaw, Anti-Venom Ultron, Surtur. Oh, I should put a Wiccan deck in here too. Scream, Bounce, Sarah Control, Arshem, Move, Discard, Ajax, Destroy. We'll round it out with the Wiccan Wolf deck. Import. This code doesn't work either. Sag. Blue's a Sarah gamer at heart, so he got the wolf. It's fun, but not that good. I don't know, man. It did pretty fucking good for me tonight. I think it's... the bar isn't being, like, the best decks around or anything, though. I think I'm gonna just basically say, like, yeah, this doesn't have to be a Fenris deck. I just like the... I liked it, so it's here. But the power of this deck is not Fenris, right? Fenris is just a bonus to strong core. You could play the Surtur version. You could play whatever the fuck. You could play Safety's Kitty Pride version. It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to give people options. Activate is bad. We actually talked about this earlier. To the surprise of no one, activate cards get significantly worse when they cost more than 2. I'm sure nobody's surprised by this. I'm gonna have to speed run talking about these decks. Because I have more than I intended to. I have 2 Infinity tickets now with Fenris Wolf. Thank you, naysayers, yeah. Safety doesn't like fun. That's why he's a big Pokemon TCG Pocket fan. Should be able to activate the card the same turn you play it. Doesn't seem hard to do. I mean, I'm in agreement that would make them way less shitty. I don't think they want to do that, though, because that's just power crept on reveal. I think they wanted it to feel different, and it does feel different. It's just different isn't necessarily good. These are all the activate cards. Do you notice a difference when you look at the cards that are cheap and they see play, and the ones that are expensive and they don't? I wonder why. It's almost like activate cards get worse the higher cost they are. Crazy concept. But that's where we're at. The best activate cards are 2 or less cost. It's about Spider-Man's and Snap. Well, I mean, this one is. This Symbiote Spider-Man is in Snap. And this one will be when Galacta comes out, I guess. Until then, not so much. I, for one, look forward to the return of people endlessly moaning about Galactus, because I'm not really bothered by Galactus. I don't even think it'll be that good, but it's an interesting card at least. It is. Out of all the high-cost activate cards, Symbiote Spider-Man is at least different and interesting. Gotta have something to whine about after Arsham. God. I'm praying. I'm praying to whatever deity will listen that Glenn Jones has a come to Jesus moment and deletes that piece of shit from the game. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I don't think Scarlet Spider is necessarily a bad card, but I never feel good about playing it. Yeah, Safety, you kicked the bear. You kicked the bear, my friend. I feel like you're learning the lesson I learned a few months ago about just avoiding discourse entirely. I mean, I know you already probably know before getting into it, but there's a reason I stopped doing that. It only caused, like, annoyance, and most people didn't understand the point. You have kicked the bear. That is the hive mind. Just got an ad for Pokemon Sleep. Yeah, Pokemon Sleep is pretty cute. It is a pretty cute game. I've never tried it, but I've seen people try it. It is funny. I've gotten people who told me they get Pokemon Pocket ads now on my Snap videos. 12% play rate. It's rising. He has risen. Arsham has risen, and we are worse for it. At least you got a good split on it. Enjoy it while we can. The big question is, will this follow Loki's path indefinitely and get nerfed? Alright, so here's if it follows Loki's path, they're going to be like, well, Arsham isn't super healthy for, you know, the long-term health of the game and some of the cards we want to design, so we're going to do a little bit of a rework, and that rework will make it stronger, and they're going to yeet it into the fucking ground. That's what would have to happen for it to go the way of Loki. Which, who knows? It could happen. I gave up on thinking they were going to change Loki. I gave up on that quite a while ago. And then they buffed it. They reworked it, which many people, myself included, thought was a nerf at first. And then we played it and we realized it was a buff. And it turned Loki from a card that was only problematic at high MMR to being problematic everywhere. And then they nerfed that shit into the ground like 1 or 2 weeks after people got it in the spotlights. Pokemon Sleep? Have you not heard of Pokemon Sleep? It is, unironically, it is a thing. A ban system. I don't think Snap players would respond well to a ban system, if we're being honest. I'll say, though, if I could ban ever running into Arsham, I would have such a more positive experience with this game. I would have a much more positive experience if I never had to see it again. I really don't mind just about anything else in the game right now. Some things I like more than others. There are for sure cards I'm not the world's biggest fan of. But holy shit, nothing in the game actually annoys me anywhere close to Arsham. It's not even close. It's a whole different world. It's a whole different game. Let them play mirrors against each other forever. Or at least, if you want to go full Ben Brodlaff RNG, just make it be the whole deck. Don't let them make a deck. If you built a card for people who don't want to think about building a deck, just don't let them build a deck. Just give them more random cards and call it a day. If they love random cards so much, they'll have more fun with that, will they not? That's what the Arsham players always say when they put up the defensive shields. I like Arsham because it's varied and the RNG is fun and it always plays out different. Awesome. Let's make it even more different. So I'm not getting blobbed or Shadow Kinged or Shanged every game. Or banned tech cards in Arsham. That's too like specific of a thing for them to ever do it. Like it would be weird implementation. I like Arsham because you hate it, like Loki. Hey, I became a Loki enjoyer for a very short period of time. I didn't think it was good for the game, but I hated it a lot less, and that's why I got these good splits on it. I hated it a lot less when they reworked it. Don't worry, guys, I tokened him yesterday. His days are numbered. Classic. Classic. That's how you know. I don't know. I don't. Not only is this not a card that's good for like long-term game health, this is a card that's bad for business, man. In my humble opinion. The game changes a lot, right? Which sometimes buffs up new decks or invalidates old decks and all this other bullshit. This deck does not change. Arsham does not change. Yeah, you have a bunch of people memeing and throwing in Thanos right now, but generally speaking, this deck does not change, and it lets you play with all the cards. If I were a bean counter, I would not think this is a good thing for our business model. Although they already have that with Destroy and other things, but this is a one-card deck. Like, yeah, you could get a Blob and, I don't know, a Loki and some other higher series cards for it, but you don't need them for this deck to be good. You'll still win quite a bit. And it pains me terribly that this is the budget card. Because on one hand, it would be sad to see budget players just absolutely fucking get the hammer dropped on them when this is their only deck, but I would also feel zero bad things about it because I hate it that much. They just need to be, like, it's an economy problem. Like, fix the fucking economy. We shouldn't have to be considering that when it comes to card changes, but it's where we are. It is what it is. But yeah, if it stays at 13%, it's gonna get fucking nerfed. Hey, the economy never hurt me, yeah. It's the economy, stupid. I have no sympathy. It invalidates the game, yeah. It's not a game I'm interested in playing. Anytime it's popular, the game is worse for it. And I think Deadpool's Diner is going to bring about more hatred for this card, because even though it's not as much of a meta tyrant as it was during the first Diner, this shit is miserable to play against in a game mode all about snapping. Maybe I'll play it again and throw Arsham. I'll throw in Kang again. I played Kang and Arsham in the first Diner and it worked. So maybe I'll do it again. I'll join the dark side. Finally play Kang again before his eventual rework. If you don't know, this card finally is getting a new Spotlight appearance in January, February, something like that. I think January. And they haven't re-released this card in well over a year, maybe longer. So many people are coping that it's finally Kang's time to get reworked because nobody wants this piece of shit. I think most people forget it even exists. Yeah. Alright. We're almost at the 3-hour mark, so that timing worked out. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 decks. That's a lot of decks. I'm going to have to talk through them quickly. But yeah, we got 13 decks for the Deadpool's Diner video tomorrow. If you, for whatever reason, are new here, you can check out the YouTube. I do video stuff over there. I also dual stream, so if you're someone who has YouTube Premium or just has an ad blocker and you want to experience the stream without ads, YouTube is probably the way to go. And just pull up the Twitch chat if you want to interact, because Twitch is usually more interactive. But we do get some nice people in the YouTube chat too. I appreciate them. And it's also not a bad time to say, you can always check and see if you have this magical little thing called Twitch Prime, which helps transfer dollars from the billionaire Bezos to your local humble streamer. And it doesn't cost you anything. It's free if you have a Amazon Prime account. Nice people on YouTube heard it for the first time here. You know what's funny is, I mean, I'm sure it gets worse the bigger you get, but like, generally speaking, I haven't had too much of a problem with you, especially on like video stuff that gets more traction.
Hello.
I don't have too much of a problem with negative YouTube comments. Hey, it worked! Tamix with the Prime. Thanks for the support. I really have to do that more often because, like, it actually does work. It's like when people tell you to like the video. You know, some people just need a little reminder, and they're happy to do it. But thank you for the Prime. Greatly appreciate the support. Enjoy the emotes, the ad-free watching experience, and have some pogfish. I think that is all that was on the docket for today. We learned some stuff. This deck felt pretty decent. I wanted to try this, but I will probably save that for tomorrow. I also wanted to try out some Sarah stuff, which I will probably also do tomorrow. If you don't know, tomorrow's Diner Day, which means I might do an earlier stream. I'm not entirely sure, but I have to get up earlier to do the video, so I am gonna do that. Bunch of deck recommendations for the Diner and outline any changes and how the mode works and all that stuff. I don't know if it's changed at all. I know as much as you do at this point, but we're going to find out together tomorrow, and I'll be streaming it. So, should be neat. Should be neat. Other than that, I want to thank you for hanging out. Chill stream today. Always appreciate people hanging out. Hope you got some cool stuff from your drops, if you're here for the drop stuff. And if you're new and you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a follow. Helps out a lot and lets you know when I go live and all that. I'm gonna find someone to send y'all over to. Let's see who is streaming. Who is streaming? Very good amount of people on. I'm gonna raid. I'm gonna raid Tio. I usually don't get a raid Tio. If you don't know, Tio Jarston, real nice guy. He ran Tio's late night show, which I participated in, and I placed 4th in that with a bunch of other cool creators. It was a really fun event, probably the most fun community event I've done in Snap, and he put a lot of work into it. He's a pretty dedicated streamer, and I'm sure he would enjoy your support. So show him some love, have a good night, and I will see you next time. Peace.